Hi, welcome to the A Squared podcast.
My name is Austin, and I'm here with my co-host.
Austin. Here at the A Squared podcast, we're going to be talking about games, the items within them, and different bosses and enemies that we like.
Today we're going to be talking about Minecraft, the upcoming updates for it, and what we think should get a rework within the updates coming up. So Austin, I know you've been paying attention to Minecon and everything that's going on with Minecraft. So tell me, what's happening for Minecraft in the future?
Currently, it hasn't been announced. It will be on October 18th. I would recommend watching the live stream if, you want to watch it. But from the looks of it, I'm thinking it might be a update to some sort of dimension. Maybe it could be quality of life. It really depends on what the developers want to do.
They did say they wanted to do all the dimensions for updating all of those before they did anything else for adding stuff. That's all they really mainly said about what they wanted to do in the future.
Most likely, I would think they would update the end, and if possible, they might update a different dimension as well.
Yeah. So what I think they should do is completely revamp the portal and everything in the end. I think it would look a lot nicer if they added biomes in the end, if they added new enemies in the end, instead of just being filled with only Endermen, which is very just underwhelming. You think of the end as such a dangerous place, and you go there and there's just so many Endermen. All you have to do is just not look at them.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I mean, they've already updated it in Minecraft Dungeons. It actually looks really nice. Yellow grass looking block on top of the endstone. I think they could really do well with that if they put it in the real game.
I think they will actually. It sounds like they would. If they did that in Minecraft Dungeons, there's a good chance they'll put that into actual regular Minecraft.
The mobs, they might be a bit too difficult for a normal Minecraft playthrough, so they might have to change that up. But I think going for the Minecraft Dungeons approach, it would really enhance the gameplay.
In the end, there's really not much to get. All you really do is go there to kill the Ender Dragon and get an Elytra and Shulker shells. That's really it. They should add more stuff to the end for you to collect and get. They could add a sword or armor that involves using ender pearls and specific items other than ender pearls that they might add that you could get from the end to craft those items. Those items could like teleport you, like specific key press teleports you in front of you where you're aiming, and it just takes off a little bit of durability off that item and you can just hold on to it.
Although I think that is a good idea, I do not think that they will add something like that. Although I do think they need to add some sort of armor, some sort of weapon, something of value there. Maybe after you defeat the boss for the second time, because you can respawn it, but there is no reward for doing so.
Yeah, I think they should make the Ender Dragon harder each time you respawn it. I think that would make a challenging point for the game. And then you get more experience each time you kill it, and you could get a different item.
I do think that the final boss does need a hardcore update because it's currently way too easy
Yeah.
for any person to defeat.
Yeah, currently it is weaker than the Warden, which I think it should be stronger than the Warden, health-wise, not defensive-wise. The Ender Dragon, I think that defense should be lower than the Warden's, and it should have a bit more health than the Warden. The Warden does have a lot of health, though, so I think the Ender Dragon should take more damage but have more health.
And speaking of the Warden, what do you think about him as like a mob instead of a boss?
The Warden, he is more of a like final boss from what he's set up as right now. He doesn't seem like he'd just be a regular mob. So are they going to change him to a regular mob? Is that what you're trying to say?
He currently is supposed to be a regular mob. You're meant to avoid him, not fight him.
Yeah, that makes sense. But he still shouldn't be stronger than all the bosses as a mob himself.
Yeah, I think he's way too hard at this stage. Maybe killing him would give you some sort of, maybe a bigger amount of XP or something. Because I know they're not going to add a item drop to him.
Yeah, it'd be hard to figure out an item to have him drop. He could probably drop the heart. He has a heart. That's, the black and silver heart in his chest. He could drop that as an item.
Yeah, currently he drops a Skulk Catalyst, which is used for XP farms on the mob farm.
So the Warden is too difficult to be a mob. He could be he could be considered a mini boss once the other bosses get higher health than him. But if they do that, they'd have to increase the defensiveness of armor, and increase damage of weapons, or they could add new armor and weapons that have more defense and damage, because currently the Warden is too overpowered. If you're just supposed to avoid him, they should have it set to where he isn't so much on health and defense and more on only attack.
Long ago, before the Warden was even added, like, I'm talking 1.18 at this point, one of the developers for him said that there should be an easier way to kill him, and they would add a item that would kill him with ease. But they haven't done that yet, so I wonder what they have in store for him.
So if they do add a weapon like that, it'd be hard to design to only like murder the Warden pretty easily. It'd be hard to design a weapon like that, especially since it could kill the Ender Dragon if they don't design it right.
I was thinking maybe they would add it to the enchantment of Bane of Arthropods, one of the most useless enchantments in the game, and that would give it a use. If you enchant your sword with Bane of Arthropods, it would be easier to kill the Warden.
That would give Bane of Arthropods a use, especially since not many people use it. Most people just use Sharpness straight out or Smite. I use Smite usually whenever I'm going to do my zombie mob farm that I have in my game.
I prefer Sharpness because it scales damage for every single mob. So, it's the most obvious choice.
Well, when you're doing a zombie mob farm, you want to use Smite because it does more damage to the zombies per hit than what Sharpness would do. It doesn't increase more damage. Increased amount more. There we go.
Well, since we're talking about enchantments, what do you think is the best enchantment that you can have?
Depends on what you're referring to. Like, is it a chest plate, a sword, a bow, a fishing rod?
Let's talk about something interesting. What about the bow?
The bow. I'd say it needs a new update for the enchantments currently.
Yeah, maybe give the fletching table a use finally. Update the bow, maybe add more enchantments, maybe update the arrows.
They could have it set to where you can make different arrow types. Like, they could make it to where you can make diamond arrows, and the diamond arrows do more damage.
Yeah, maybe like obsidian tipped arrows that would do way more damage than the flint ones. I think that's a really good idea. They probably should think about adding that to the game.
Obsidian tipped arrows could do more damage, but they could fly less distance because they're heavier, and they could have durability instead of just breaking on the first hit.
And that would give one of the longest lasting tool benches an actual use.
Yeah.
I believe we've reached the end of today's podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to this podcast, and I hope to see you next time.
Goodbye.